Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, family.
We are back at it with another video. And today's video is 4 reasons why keeping up with the Joneses is keeping you broke.
Let's get into it.
A year ago, we started this journey to break free from the traditional ways of living and to give our kids a sense of freedom. Since then, we've made amazing memories, met exciting new people, and discovered parts of ourselves that we would have never known. And well, I'd say that we are just getting started. Follow us on our journey as we continue to define what it means to live out of bounds.
So y'all heard what Wifey said, the title of the video is. Before we get into the nitty gritty of what we have to share with you, I do want to remind you to make sure that you hit the like on this video so that YouTube knows that you like what we have to say. And of course you do, because that's why you're here, right? Yes. Also, make sure you hit the bell at the top to subscribe so that you are informed when we drop new gems for you, because we have a lot of good things in store for you to help you elevate your life, right? Yeah. Also, make sure that you comment and let us know what you think about what we said. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And share it with a friend if you feel like it could also be beneficial for them and elevate their life as well. All right. So the title of this video, right? Keeping up with the Joneses. Now, first, I don't know about y'all, but I have never known who these Joneses were, who they actually exist. I knew people with the last name of Jones, but who chose that as the designated last name for people that you follow? I don't know.
I don't know who they are. We're still trying to
figure it out, right? But whoever they are, maybe those people with that last name, maybe they got a different last name. But essentially, there are some very key reasons why following other people,
especially people you don't know.
Ooh, especially people you don't know, can sometimes have you stuck. And so the first reason why following or trying to keep up with the Joneses is keeping you stuck is because it causes you to lose track of your goals. And so what that essentially means is that you get distracted, right? You're so focused on what someone else is doing that you don't even, or you can't even focus or remember what it is you were trying to do in the first place. It's kind of like you got caught up in their glitter and glamour, and you see that they have these things that you want, and you instantly go running towards them. And then you're like, wait, what was I trying to do? It's like you go on a spiral, and anything that is going to distract you from your goal, it is essentially something that you need to cut and nip in the bud, right now, today.
I also want to add to that, is as you are, I guess, looking at other people and trying to follow other people, you end up forgetting sometimes. So you just end up forgetting what your goals are, because the line between your goals and their goals is very blurred. And so you just want to always be mindful of what your goals are and stay the course.
Oh, something Wifey just said, it reminded me. So this whole thing with you losing sight of your goals, it's like you getting off focus, like you're getting off center, right? And we talked about that before. If y'all didn't hear it, make sure you check out our podcast, the first episode, and we talked about how crucial it is to start your day with getting centered, because you need to be super focused, super clear on what your goal is, so that even when you are watching other people for inspiration, right? Because there's nothing wrong with that. It's just when watching those other people turns into you now trying to alter your goal to look like what you see, then that's when it could be a problem, and it definitely causes an issue with your finances in that regard. So what we got next?
That is a perfect segue into the second one. I'm going to read it because I don't really remember them verbatim, but it's you create a lifestyle that you can't afford. And so basically you end up living beyond your means. And so as you are looking at all the flashy things on social media, or just what we've been taught, like this whole status quo. And so when we buy cars typically have a status attached to them. Yeah. And so we end up getting all of these expensive things that technically our budget can't really afford.
They don't reflect what your bank account really is.
Exactly. And so when you do that, you end up putting yourself further and further in a hole.
Yes, absolutely. And that defeats the purpose, right? Yes. Because you're trying to move forward in your financial situation. You're trying to elevate. And anything, again, that is going to leave you stuck or put you behind is probably not good for you. And so, again, when you are trying to keep up with other people or trying to duplicate what you see them do, it could put you in a really bad financial situation because maybe what they're doing is consistent with where their finances are. Right. And so if you just go out and try to duplicate that same thing without having that same financial resource, then it could put you further in a hole, like Wifey said, and then that makes it even longer until you get to your goals, and then you get discouraged, right? We all know what that's been like. And by the way, I just want to say that even though we're sharing this with you because we've done it, right? Like we have been there where we weren't necessarily trying to keep up with someone, right? But there were some things that we had to adjust in our financial situation to help us move even further in our financial goals. And we just want to make sure we share them with you because keeping up with other people is actually a common theme. And you see a lot of it. And it's time that we get refocused. I mean, we family, right? So we're trying to help everybody win, ultimately.
Yeah, and really just adding to that, who are we? I think I might be going into another one. Ooh, but like,
go ahead.
Who are you trying to prove yourself to, essentially?
She is going into another
I think I am.
She is, yes. Number 3.
So what's number 3?
So number 3 is, or the number 3 reason why keeping up with the Joneses is probably leaving you stuck in your financial situation is because you never truly feel satisfied. And you allow material things to define you.
Yes, so with that, you end up trying to, or what did I say first? Because I said, basically, who are you trying to prove yourself to? Yeah. Essentially. So when we sold our house and when we sold our cars and everything, it wasn't that we couldn't afford them. We could absolutely afford those things. But we also felt like, there are some other things that we would like to be doing with the money that we're flowing in. Because when we look at that, what do you call it, ledger?
Yes, because we keep track.
Yeah, so when we look at that ledger and at the end of the month, it's like,
we a little short.
We're like not even short.
Short in a sense of like
all bills paid.
All bills are paid. First off, like we don't mean we don't mean. She said we not them. We don't know who them is. But but not short in a sense of we couldn't pay our bills, but short in a sense of like we thought we were going to have more money to play with, right? To like travel with, to have experiences, and then we didn't.
And so, exactly. And so what ends up happening is we ended up selling our stuff, but a lot of people thought, I think we talked about this on the channel before. We thought we were broke, we was on hard times and things like that. But essentially we weren't. We just had a goal and we wanted to get to our goal faster. And so by doing that, we pivoted and then we readjusted the way things were for us. And that started with eliminating the mortgage, eliminating the too high car notes and things like that. Yeah.
I want to piggyback off something very crucial that Wifey just said, and it's the idea of pivoting, right? So you don't ever need to be ashamed to pivot. At any point, if it seems like something you're doing is not the most effective, I don't care what it is. Maybe it was effective when you first started, but as you continue to do it, you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem to be as effective as I thought. There's nothing wrong with pivoting. And a lot of times I see that the biggest reason why people don't pivot is because they are so worried about what someone else is going to say about their change in direction. And I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. You're never ever going to reach your goals in anything Max, don't move the camera. Sorry, guys. That was the dog. You're never, ever going to reach your goals in anything, finances, relationships, career-wise, anything, if you are so focused on what someone else is going to say about a decision that you're making, okay?
Exactly.
So, again, don't be afraid to pivot.
Yeah, and also really touching on that whole you never really feel satisfied. You end up defining yourself with materialistic stuff.
Yes.
And so as you are continuing to buy things and buy things and buy things, you are essentially saying this is what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Like, not saying you're not worth whatever you want. Like,
because
I think they talked about it in the podcast.
Yeah.
That, essentially go out, buy what you want to buy, do what you want to do with your money.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you can't complain when you like, oh, well, I ain't got enough money to go to
wherever it is you're trying to go,
or buy whatever you're trying to buy. And so when you end up just buying materialistic things, essentially, or let me rewind because I'm always rambling. So when you get ready to buy something, maybe you should try and practice the 72-hour rule.
Yes, and we do this a lot now. We do it more now than we did before. So
right, and so the 72-hour rule is when you see something that you want, you wait 72 hours to determine what your why is. Why do you want that? Yes. And so if at the end of those 72 hours you kind of figured out, I want this because of this, and this is, I would say, make sure it's a why with substance, not I want this because I'm trying to be fly. You can do that, but at the end of the day, know your why. And if you want to go ahead and buy it, then buy it. So, but just know that sometimes when you think like that, it's not going to lead you to financial independence, but
yeah, and again, like, we just want to drive home, we are not trying to say that people do not deserve to spend their money on the things that they want, right?
Absolutely.
Because you work hard for your money. I mean, we work hard for our money, and so we like to be able to spend them on the things that we want to spend them on. But what we're saying is, you want to make sure that you are spending money on things that you truly value, and that when you look at what you've spent your money on, you are happy with it, you're okay with it, you're like, yes, this is absolutely what I would have wanted to spend my money on, this is moving me close to goals that I have, I mean, that's what we're saying essentially. And like, before we sold the house, I mean, for me personally, I didn't feel like we were trying to keep up with people, because
we weren't
ever doing that. But what I did realize is that my own perspective of what I thought I wanted was slightly skewed. Like, I knew I had wanted the car that I ended up buying. I knew that I wanted this house, and when we got them, I was happy, but I don't know, I guess I expected to feel like something bigger, and I didn't. And what really caused that is when we realized that, wait, we can't afford to go to these places that we want to go because we don't have the additional money that we should have, right? And that is when both of us realized, okay, let's rewind and change some things around so that we can have money for things that we actually value, which is traveling for us and heavily investing. I realized that we were not investing as much as we should have been, because with the knowledge that we do have about investing, we should have been investing at a higher rate. Basically,
especially with the money that we were bringing in.
Yeah, like, we should have been putting more money in there. We had a nice portfolio. It did some nice numbers.
Yeah.
So we're not going to discredit that at all. We did have a very nice portfolio. But we did realize it could have been a lot further if we had shifted finances in a way to where we could invest more money to grow our portfolio at a faster rate. And that is when we realized, okay, the things that we have now aren't necessarily the things that we value the most. And so let's shift that around. And that's all that we're telling you to do, okay? And so with this last reason, right, why keeping up with the Joneses is keeping you stuck, trying to keep up with someone else's financial situation gives you a false sense of financial stability. basically what you have in your bank account is not matching what your mind thinks you have, right? And so you see these people on Instagram, and I mean, they're renting yachts and they're doing boat parties and they're doing all of these things, and you're like, yeah, I want to be doing that. That looks fun. That looks amazing. And you just go, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go do it. And then you realize, wait, maybe I didn't realize I didn't have the budget for it. And that's not a bad thing, guys. Like, you got to honor where you are financially. Yeah. But understand that you can get to a point where you can spend money on things or experiences that you want to have, and it doesn't financially put you in a hole. You just got to work there. And you don't want to be afraid to take the time to get there.
Exactly.
So, I was waiting on Wifey to come in with her ding, ding, ding bonus tip.
So I didn't know if you wanted to add a little bit more to your financial stability, point. Go ahead.
I was shooting it over.
All right. Mm-hmm. And so if you stayed to the end, we truly do appreciate you. And this is one I feel like is really, really important.
Yeah.
And it is buying things for immediate gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And so oftentimes, it goes back to that 72-hour rule.
Yeah.
But oftentimes we buy things because it fills us, it fills some type of void inside of us.
It's that dopamine momentary.
And it's a temporary feel,
yeah.
right? And so when we got all of these things that we wanted, I mean, honestly, we were living the American dream. Like, honestly, like, we had everything we were supposed to have. We did everything that we were supposed to do.
Yep.
And ultimately, when we bought those things, it was like, boom.
It felt like an accomplishment.
Like, yes, what? And, we posting it on social media and things like that. We were really grateful for what. Yeah. I don't regret posting myself on social media.
No, I don't. We were proud of it.
But what I'm saying is just be mindful of how you show up and why you're buying things. You have to begin to delay the immediate gratification of things that you buy. And so, for example, if you walking around here without life insurance, but you are paying for, I guess, cable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can actually get a life insurance policy at the same price that Comcast charges. And Comcast up there. I ain't had Comcast in a minute.
Yeah, we don't do Comcast.
So you could have a pretty decent life insurance policy if you go ahead and downsize to Netflix, because Hulu, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
But essentially, we don't buy life insurance policies because you didn't get that money. You ain't getting that money at all.
Yeah,
like it's your kids.
Yeah, we don't buy it for an immediate right now. We get something in return.
And so even down to all of the money that we're putting out for investments and things like that, there's no immediate return on that money, and so you have to wait. But what's the quote? I hear you say something about some loan money. Dang, never mind. Don't worry about it. But it's something about like, or scared money don't. No, not that one.
Not that one.
Not that one.
It's not that one.
But essentially, like, what I see in my head is Babe shared a tree.
The growing tree, yeah.
Yeah. So can you explain what that was?
So I'm gonna try to remember. Basically, you have two people, right? And the person who is prioritizing investing, they are consistently watering this tree. And as they see the fruit growing from the tree, they just keep watering it. They don't pick from the fruit yet, they just keep it growing. Versus the person who starts to water the tree, when they're looking for an immediate, right now, something quick return, they start picking from the fruit the moment they see it grow on the tree. And it's like, you could do that and you're going to eat right now. But if you pick all of the fruit from that tree, the tree eventually doesn't produce any more fruit. And then you're in a position where you are able to eat now, but you didn't prepare yourself to eat long term. And so like we are going to, or we have a lot of things in store for you guys, especially with financial independence, that we want to share with y'all, because we are on that journey. We've been on it for a minute, and there are absolutely some things that we've done that has helped us move further in our journey. There are tons of things that we've learned that we are implementing now to move further, and we just want to make sure that we are sharing them with y'all, because we do appreciate your support in always watching our channel, and liking our videos and commenting. And so we want to make sure that we are really giving y'all good content, things that are going to help you elevate. And I also want to say that if you are watching this and you're like, you heard the 4 reasons that we gave, 4 in a bonus, so 5 reasons that we gave regarding keeping up with the Joneses, and you feel a little bit of shame around that, I just want to remind you to give yourself grace, right? Because it takes a lot to rewire our mindsets. It takes a lot to shift mindsets and to do something different, things that we're not used to doing, things that may feel a little bit uncomfortable, things that don't give you an immediate right now, especially if you're in a financial situation where you feel like your money is just not, it's not growing as fast as you would like it to.
And sometimes you don't know, honestly. And so, like Babe said, you just got to give yourself grace, because you can't fault yourself for not knowing. It's just when we know better, we do better.
Absolutely.
So
and so that's why we're doing better. We're sharing it with you guys.
Right.
And we're going to make sure that we bring y'all the content. So let's recap on the reasons why keeping up with the Joneses keeps you stuck, right? So reason number 1, you can lose sight of your personal goals, your individual goals. What are you focused on, right? Reason number 2.
Reason number 2 is you create a lifestyle that you can't afford. Ultimately, you end up living beyond your means.
Yes. Reason number 3, you never truly feel satisfied, and you allow material things to define you.
Number 4 is you create a false sense of financial stability. And the bonus number 5 is you essentially buy things for immediate. You only buy things for immediate gratification.
Yeah. So that about sums it up. That wraps up the 4+1 reasons why keeping up with the Joneses is leaving you stuck in your financial situation. We hope that this information was helpful for you. We hope that it gives you encouragement. Don't be afraid to reach out to us, guys, and share if you or ask questions if you want to know a specific thing. We are so willing to share what we've learned with you all, because
we've learned a lot. And so next week we're going to be talking about our steps to financial independence. So please make sure that you come back for that video on next week.
Yes. So, all right. So until next time, family.
All right. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and follow us on Instagram at Livin Out of Bounds.